Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Ever scroll through TikTok, laughing at dance videos or lip syncs, only to stumble across something unsettling? Something that makes your skin crawl? Tonight, we're diving into stories that shocked the internet. The first one is the story of a teenage TikTok star, a loving family, and a crime so chilling, it'll leave you questioning everything. This is the story of Claire Miller, a 14-year-old girl from Pennsylvania whose life took a horrifying turn. What drove her to commit the unthinkable? And where is she now? Grab a blanket, lock your doors, and let's unravel this horrifying story. Claire Elena Miller was born in 2007 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a quiet town where nothing much happens, or so it seemed. Raised by her parents, Mark and Marie Miller, Claire grew up in a loving home alongside her older sister Helen. But life wasn't always easy for the Miller family. Helen, who was 19 in 2021, had cerebral palsy. She was wheelchair bound, unable to move on her own, and needed constant care. The Miller home was modified to meet Helen's needs, and Claire often helped tend to her sister. By day, Claire was a typical teenager at Lancaster Country Day School, a private school with 550 students. She was co-president of her 9th grade class, a good student, friendly, and active in extracurriculars. But when the school day ended, Claire escaped into a different world, TikTok. Under the handle @Spirits and Such Consulting, she amassed over 22,000 followers with lip sync videos, anime content, and quirky rants about her dad. Her videos were harmless, sometimes featuring her jovial father making silly faces and playing guitar. To her followers, Claire was just another teen chasing internet fame. But beneath the surface, something darker was brewing. What was going on through Claire's mind as she posted those videos? Did she feel overshadowed by her sister's needs? Or was something else building inside of her? Something no one saw coming. It was a cold February night in 2021, in the quiet suburb of Mannheim Township. The Miller family went to bed like any other Sunday. Mark and Marie in their room, Helen her specially adapted bedroom, and Claire, alone with her thoughts. Around 1 a.m., something snapped. Claire crept downstairs, grabbed a kitchen knife, and made her way to Helen's room. Helen was asleep, defenseless, her wheelchair silent beside her bed. What happened next is almost too horrifying to imagine. Claire stabbed her sister in the neck 7 times. She placed a pillow over Helen's face, as if to hide the act from herself. At 1:08 a.m., Claire called 911, her voice eerily calm, saying, "I stabbed my sister." When police arrived at the Miller home on Clayton Road, they found Claire outside, her pajama pants stained with blood. Washing her hands in the snow, she repeated over and over, "I stabbed my sister." Inside, officers found Helen on her back, a knife still lodged in her neck, blood pooling on her bed. Despite their efforts, Helen was pronounced dead at 4:13 a.m. The coroner confirmed Helen died from multiple stab wounds. A witness later told police they'd spoken to Claire that night, and she'd expressed suicidal and homicidal thoughts. Was this a sudden breakdown, Or had Claire been planning this? Internet sleuths dug into her TikTok, where her following skyrocketed after the murder, drawn by the morbid curiosity of the crime. One video, posted after the act, allegedly showed Claire cleaning blood off her hands in the snow. Was she taunting her audience, or was she lost in her own mind? Claire's parents were asleep during the attack, waking to the nightmare of losing one daughter and facing the arrest of another. The community was stunned. Tom Rudzinski, the Manheim Township police chief, called it one of the saddest cases he's ever seen. But the question remains, why? Why would a 14-year-old girl with a bright future and a loving family commit such a horrifying act? Claire was charged with homicide as an adult, a mandatory filing in Pennsylvania for such crimes. She was held at Lancaster County Prison, then transferred to Muncie State Correctional Institution, the only prison equipped for female juveniles. In court, Claire's attorney, Robert Bayer, argued she suffered a psychotic break, driven by auditory command hallucinations, a woman's voice telling her to kill. Claire was diagnosed with depression and an unspecified psychotic disorder, treated with medication. Her defense tried to move the case to juvenile court, which focuses on rehabilitation. But in July 2022, Judge David Workman denied the request. Claire would face adult consequences. On March 10th, 2023, now 16, Claire pleaded guilty but mentally ill to third-degree murder. Judge Jeffrey Wright sentenced her to 12.5 to 40 years in prison, acknowledging her mental illness, but holding her accountable. The pain this must have caused the family is unthinkable, said District Attorney Heather Adams. Claire's parents, torn between grief for Helen and supporting Claire, sat in the courtroom, their hearts shattered. Bayer called the case a stark reminder of the mental health crisis among youth, worsened by the pandemic. Claire wasn't just a TikTok star or a murderer. She was a teenager, battling demons no one fully understood. But did her mental illness excuse her actions? Or was there something deeper or darker at play here? As of recording this video, July 19th, 2025, Claire Miller is serving her sentence at Muncie State Correctional Institution. She's now 18. Her teenage years spent behind bars. She's receiving treatment for her mental health, and her attorney says she's shown marked improvements. But with a sentence of up to 40 years, Claire's future is uncertain. Will she find redemption, or will she remain defined by that fateful night? Her TikTok account, once a window into her teenage world, is gone, erased from the internet. But the questions linger. What drove Claire to that moment? Was it jealousy, mental illness, or something we'll never fully understand? And if you've made it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. And share it with all your friends and whoever else is into this kind of content. I just want to get my channel out there as much as possible. I want to keep continuing to make this type of content because it's the content that I like. If you haven't checked out any of my other stuff, you should, because it's not all just true crime. There are some like ghost stuff. Anyway, just check out the rest of my videos. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you. All right, now back to the video. Stephen McCullough, born in Northern Ireland, was a self-proclaimed man-child who found his place online as Vote Saxon07. The name? A nod to a Doctor Who meme from 2007's episode Last of the Time Lords, where the Master runs for office as Harold Saxon. Stephen was a Whovian through and through, building a YouTube channel with 37,000 subscribers around reviews of sonic screwdrivers, BattleBots replicas, and Hexbug toys.
Hello YouTube viewers on random... Let's just get this over with.
Starting in 2010, his channel, filled with sarcasm and nerdy passion, became a haven for sci-fi and robot combat fans. He wasn't alone in his journey. Stephen collaborated with his friend Anthony Murney, known as Two Penny Milk, and joined Team S-Tech on the UK's Robot Wars, even appearing on the show in 2016. Off-screen, he was a producer for Antweight Anarchy and a commentator, his voice a staple in the robot combat community. To his fan, Stephen was a quirky, passionate creator, celebrating toys, collectibles, and all things nerdy. But behind the playful reviews and live streams, something dark was lurking.
Natalie McNally was always at the heart of her family. That heart ripped out when she was murdered. Here she is with her father outside the home in Lurgan she loved. The home the 33-year-old mom-to-be was discovered stabbed to death in, just days before Christmas in 2022. Her former partner, Stephen McCullough, charged with murder.
December 18th, 2022, started like any other night in Lurgan County, Armagh. Natalie McNally, a 32-year-old woman, 15 weeks pregnant, was at home in Silverwood Green, excited about her future as a mother. Stephen McCullough, her boyfriend and the father of her unborn child, was supposedly streaming live on YouTube at 6 p.m. He launched a 6-hour Grand Theft Auto Vice City stream called Violent Night Christmas Live Gaming Stream. He told his 37,000 subscribers he couldn't interact with chat due to technical issues. Fans watched him play, unaware that something wasn't right. That night, Natalie was stabbed to death in her home. Police believe the attack happened while Stephen's stream was running. But here's the chilling part. The live stream was pre-recorded. Cyber experts later found evidence that Stephen had recorded the footage days earlier, possibly on December 13th or 14th, and played it as if it were live to create an alibi. During the stream, he made strange comments, like ranting around about physics and saying abso-fucking-Natalie, despite no GTA character being named Natalie. Was it a slip of the tongue or a twisted hint of what he was doing?
I just realised I'm literally going to be drinking and driving. In the game, by the way, I'm not leaving the house tonight, so... Oh man. Unbelievable. So I thought you were supposed to, like, run him off the road and kill him, much like your woman. Abso-fucking-notly. Abso-fucking-natly. I need to take her down, 'cause I won't pass the mission if I don't get this bitch to die. Tra-la-la. Attack, panic, attack. That's what we're doing.
Police found Natalie's body the next day, December 19th. Her life and her unborn child's taken in a brutal attack. The High Court later heard that Stephen allegedly planned the murder after discovering Natalie's WhatsApp messages with an ex-boyfriend. Was jealousy the motive, or was there a deeper darkness in Stephen's mind? His fans, heartbroken, couldn't believe the nerdy YouTuber they admired could be capable of such a horror. But the evidence was mounting, and the truth was about to come crashing down. In February 2023, Stephen McCullough was arrested and charged with Natalie McNally's murder. He appeared in Lisburn Magistrates Court, where prosecutors laid out their case. The pre-recorded livestream, the timing of Natalie's death, and Stephen's lack of interaction with his audience were all red flags. Detective Chief Inspector Neil McGuinness told the court that the extensive analysis of Stephen's devices confirmed the stream was a fake, a calculated move to cover his tracks. His lawyer argued the pre-recorded stream wasn't enough to prove murder, but the court wasn't convinced. Stephen was denied bail and remanded in custody. The Robot Wars and Doctor Who communities were stunned. Fans who'd watched Stephen's toy reviews and BattleBot breakdowns took to Reddit expressing betrayal and shock. One former fan said they connected with his passion, never suspecting he could hide such a darkness. The case became a media firestorm, with headlines calling it a digital deception unlike any other. Natalie's family, grieving with the loss of her unborn child and herself, demanded justice. But could Steven, the quirky YouTuber, really be a cold-blooded killer? Or was there more to the story? As of July 19th, 2025, Stephen McCullough remains in custody, awaiting the next stage of his trial. His most recent court appearance, reported in September 2024, saw him denied bail again as the case continues to unfold. The courts are still piecing together the evidence, from the pre-recorded live stream to the WhatsApp messages that may have triggered his actions. If convicted, Stephen could face life in prison for the murder of Natalie McNally and her unborn child. His YouTube channel, once a hub for nerdy reviews, sits silent, a digital ghost town. The fans who once cheered him on are left with questions. How could someone so passionate about toys and sci-fi commit such a horrific act? And what happens when the trial finally reveals the truth? Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie were high school sweethearts from Blue Point, New York. Gabby, born in 1999, was a free spirit with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a passion for art, yoga, and travel. Brian, born in 1997, was her opposite in some ways. A barefoot wanderer obsessed with living naturally, shunning shoes and material things. They met at Bayport Blue Point High School, fell in love, and by July 2020, they were engaged, dreaming of a life on the road. In December 2020, Gabby bought a 2012 Ford Transit Connect van, which they converted into a camper with cozy touches for their van life adventure. They launched Nomadic Static, a YouTube channel to document their journey-able journey. Inspired by films like No Man Land, on July 2nd, 2021, they set off from New York planning a 4-month cross-country trip through national parks, sharing their story on YouTube and Instagram. Their first video, posted August 19th, 2021, showed them laughing, kissing, and exploring places like Santa Monica and Capitol Reef National Park. To the world, they were living the dream, but behind the smiles, something horrifying was brewing. The Nomadic Static video, Van Life, Beginning Our Van Life Journey, was their only YouTube video posted on August 19th, 2021. It showed Gabby and Brian hiking, camping, and smiling, but Gabby's words hinted at tension. She spoke of downsizing their lives, but during a police stop in Moab, Utah, on August 12th, she tearfully admitted that Brian didn't believe in her blogging dreams. That day, a 911 call reported a man slapping a woman near their van. Bodycam footage showed Gabby crying, describing a mental health crisis while Brian had scratches on his face. No charges were filed, but they were separated for the night. By August 24th, Gabby was last seen at Salt Lake City Hotel. On August 25th, she posted her final Instagram update. 2 days later, on August 27th, witnesses saw them fighting in a Wyoming restaurant. That same day, a van life couple, Red White and Bethune, recorded their van in Grand Teton National Park. It was the last time Gabby was seen alive. Around August 27th, Brian strangled her to death in the Bridger Teton National Forest. Her body was hidden, and Brian drove their van back to Florida alone, arriving September 1st. On September 11th, Gabby's mother, Nicole Schmidt, recorded her missing after receiving odd texts, like one mentioning no service in Yosemite, which she doubted Gabby sent. Brian, now a person of interest, refused to cooperate, hiring a lawyer. On September 13th, he vanished, telling his parents he was hiking in a Florida reserve. On September 19th, Gabby's remains were found, her death ruled a homicide by strangulation. The internet exploded with theories, some pointing to Brian reading Annihilation, a book about women going missing, in their YouTube video. The search for Brian Laundrie became a nationwide manhunt. His parents reported him missing on September 17th, but police later realized they'd mistaken his mother for him during surveillance, a critical error. On October 20th, 2021, Brian's remains were found in Florida's Carlton Reserve alongside a revolver and a note confessing to Gabby's murder. He claimed he killed her out of mercy after an accident, but the autopsy confirmed strangulation, not an accident. Brian died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, ending the case with no trial. Gabby's family sued Brian's parents for wrongful death and emotional stress, settling for $3 million in 2022 and resolving another lawsuit in 2024. The Petito family launched the Gabby Petito Foundation to combat domestic violence, turning their grief into action. But the nomadic static video, once a symbol of adventure, became a haunting reminder of what was lost. How could a seemingly happy couple end in such tragedy? Was their van life dream doomed from the start? As of July 19th, 2025, the Nomadic Static YouTube channel remains online, frozen in time with 178,000 subscribers in a single video, now viewed over 6 million times. Gabby's Instagram, @GabsPetito, and Brian's, @BizarreDesign, are still public, their posts a bittersweet echo of a journey cut short. The case is closed, with no additional charges filed, but its impact lingers. A Netflix documentary, American Murder, Gabby Petito, released in February 2025, details the tragedy, featuring Gabby's family and friends. The Petito Foundation continues to raise awareness about domestic violence inspired by Gabby's story. But every view of that nomadic static video is a reminder of what had been. A young woman's dream, stolen by the person she trusted the most.